How is it possible that $8 billion, real money, belonging to over 1 million everyday people, simply vanishes into thin air? We aren't talking about a sophisticated cyber attack launched by a syndicate. We aren't talking about a masked bank heist. We are talking about a guy with unkempt curly hair who played League of Legends during television interviews, promised to save the world, and ran a $32 billion empire from a luxury penthouse in the Bahamas. In 2022, FTX was the second largest cryptocurrency exchange on the planet. Its name was plastered across a Miami sports stadium. It was endorsed by legends like Tom Brady and Larry David. But every single brick of that empire was built on a foundation of lies. This isn't just a story of a business going bankrupt. It is the anatomy of one of the fastest, most devastating financial frauds in modern history. How did the FTX empire disappear? Today, on Mysteries of Famous Frauds and Scams, we open the vault. Sam Bankman-Fried, known in the crypto world simply as SBF, did not look like your traditional Wall Street banker. He wore oversized t-shirts, cargo shorts, and famously slept on beanbag chairs in the middle of his office. But to the elite investors of Silicon Valley, this didn't look like unprofessionalism. It looked like genius. Founded in 2019, FTX promised to be the safest, fastest, and most transparent place to trade cryptocurrency. And its rise was meteoric. Within 3 years, it reached a staggering valuation of $32 billion. SBF became the golden boy of crypto. He testified before the US Congress. He hung out with politicians and celebrities. He preached a philosophy called effective altruism, the idea of making as much money as humanly possible, just to give it all away to charity. But if you looked closely at the corporate structure of FTX, you wouldn't find a charitable utopia. You would find a tangled, toxic web. Because to understand how your money disappeared from FTX, we have to look at another company. A company operating in the shadows, run by SBF's former girlfriend, Caroline Ellison. A hedge fund called Alameda Research. And what Alameda was doing with customer funds behind closed doors is a federal crime. By law, a cryptocurrency exchange like FTX and a trading firm like Alameda Research must be completely separate entities. If you deposit $1,000 into an exchange to buy Bitcoin, those funds are sacred. They are supposed to sit in a digital vault, untouched. But SBF broke the golden rule of finance. According to court documents, FTX executives secretly wrote a specific piece of code into their platform software. It was a hidden backdoor. Through this backdoor, Alameda Research was granted an essentially unlimited line of credit, funded entirely by FTX customer money. When ordinary people deposited their life savings into FTX, it was being quietly siphoned off to Alameda. And Alameda was using your money to make hyper-risky crypto bets, buy massive Bahamas real estate, and cover their own massive trading losses. But wait, it gets worse. To prop up this house of cards, FTX created its own cryptocurrency out of thin air, called the FTT token. SBF would simply print millions of FTT tokens, declare that they were worth billions of dollars, and use this imaginary wealth as collateral to borrow real money. It was the financial equivalent of printing your own monopoly money, assigning it a massive value, and using it to buy real gold. But a Ponzi scheme only survives as long as people don't ask for their money back all at once. And the spark that would burn FTX to the ground was about to be lit by a single leaked document. November 2nd, 2022. The crypto news outlet CoinDesk publishes an explosive report. Journalists had gotten their hands on Alameda Research's private balance sheet. The document revealed a terrifying truth. Alameda's multi-billion-dollar foundation was made up almost entirely of FTT, FTX's made-up token. The crypto world froze. The emperor had no clothes. 4 days later, Changpeng Zhao, known as CZ, the CEO of Binance and SBF's biggest rival, takes to Twitter. CZ announces that due to recent revelations, Binance will be liquidating all of its FTT tokens. That tweet was the kill shot. It was yelling fire in a crowded theater. Absolute panic sets in. Millions of FTX customers rush to the platform, desperately trying to withdraw their savings. In a single day, FTX is hit with a staggering $5 billion in withdrawal requests. It is a classic, catastrophic bank run. On November 7th, SBF posts on Twitter, FTX is fine. Assets are fine. It was a lie. The money wasn't there. It had been gambled away by Alameda. Days later, FTX pauses all withdrawals. The $32 billion empire is completely illiquid. On November 11th, FTX files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. SBF resigns, leaving behind 1 million shattered creditors and an $8 billion black hole. What followed was the brutal dismantling of the boy genius myth. To clean up the mess, the bankruptcy court appointed John J. Ray III as the new CEO, the exact same man who oversaw the infamous Enron liquidation. In his sworn statement to the court, Ray said, Never in my career have I seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information. FTX didn't even have a real accounting department. Multi-million-dollar expenses were approved using custom emojis on an internal chat. Billions of dollars were untraceable. SBF was arrested in the Bahamas and extradited to the United States. His inner circle, including Caroline Ellison, pleaded guilty and testified against him in exchange for leniency. In November 2023, a federal jury found Sam Bankman-Fried guilty on 7 counts of wire fraud and conspiracy. In March 2024, at just 32 years old, the boy who promised to save the world was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. The FTX scandal leaves us with a chilling lesson about modern finance. It proves that brilliant marketing, celebrity endorsements, and Super Bowl commercials do not equal trust. Greed, even when disguised as effective altruism, remains just that, greed. What do you think? Was a 25-year sentence enough for stealing $8 billion? Or should the celebrities who promoted the scam face consequences too? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I read and reply to them. If this deep dive into financial mystery captivated you, please hit that like button. It massively helps the algorithm push this video to more people. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. Next time on Mysteries of Famous Frauds, we uncover a scam so audacious, it fooled the smartest people on Wall Street. Until then, stay vigilant, do your own research, and never trust a promise that sounds too good to be true. See you next time.